fault. Look, a $50 money order. And he found a cute new apartment, and his job gives him a lot of spare time so he can take some courses at Chicago. Of course, it'll take a little longer that way. But do you know that 32% of all GIs are... I'm such a rotten liar. Not one word about his coming back. I wouldn't mind if he were only doing what he really wants to, but I know he's not. Well, I guess you can't expect miracles in a couple of weeks, can you? It'll all work out somehow. More coffee, Doctor.
I guess it's time for me to pinch you again, Peggy. I'll leave her alone.
Tell Peggy I'll be back this afternoon.
Certainly come to the right place, old-timer. Let me show you a 49 that came in this morning. You won't believe it, but all Carson is asking for that
I'm
car.
looking for Mr. Jason Taylor.
Well, now, I think he's busy for the moment, but I'll be glad to take care of you. This car belonged to a lady who had to leave for China the day the car was delivered. So you see, it's only been driven about...
Where is Mr. Taylor?
Over there by that green convertible.
Thank you.
Well, you've sure come to the right place, fella. Let me show you a 49 that came in this morning. Well, good morning. You certainly came to the right place. Let me show you...
Mr. Taylor.
Hello, Jason. Hello, Professor. How's Peggy?
She's worried. Why haven't you sent for her?
Oh, I will eventually, Professor. It's just that right now every time I think about her, I feel guilty as if I...
Is that why you haven't even called her?
I keep seeing that attic. Those stairs she had to climb a dozen times a day. And maybe if I'd been able to offer her a decent place to live in, it wouldn't have happened.
Oh, but the doctor told you there could have been 100 reasons, and there could have been none. Now, be honest, Jason. It's not the baby that makes you feel this way. You two had some wonderful ideas, sound ideas on how to live and what to live for. And they imposed a responsibility on you, and now you've deserted that responsibility. Isn't that why you feel guilty?
Maybe. I don't know. Say, Professor, that man over there's a sales manager. He's been writing me the last couple of days. Make like you're going to buy a car.
No, I'm afraid this is too expensive for me.
Well, I've got a 42 on the back lot there. Might be just perfect for you.
Well, let's look at it. I had a talk with the dean this morning, Jason. He said if you came back now, you could take makeup examinations. And if you passed them, you'd not only be reinstated, but the instructorship would be a certainty.
Even if I wanted to, I doubt whether I could pass that chemistry exam. As for teaching, I make more here in 2 months than I would in a year.
Is that so important?
Yes, I think so. Look, Professor, I got a line on an apartment. Has 4 rooms. You can walk around in it. It's got heat, sunlight, and a backyard. It's a place where a fellow can live with his wife without feeling that he's letting her down. Now, is it so wrong to want to feel that way?
No. But I thought you once promised a flock of seagulls you were going to teach and try to help make people more understanding.
Sure, and lots of others made promises, too. When I got out of the service, there were millions of them. This time it was going to be different. The parade went on for miles. And suddenly I look around and everybody's gone home. Now, why should the finger point at me? Why is it my responsibility?
Simply because you realize that it is a responsibility. Not enough people do.
But I think I've got a right to ask the same question everybody else is asking. What do I get out of it?
Well, if you're a teacher, you'll be underpaid, taken advantage of, and be at the mercy of trustees. If you adhere to the educational status quo, you'll be considered archaic. And if you have any progressive ideas, there's no telling what they'll call you. You'll write a book or two, which no one will read. And just when you're beginning to enjoy all this, you'll be retired.
That's really something to look forward to.
But strangely enough, If you don't outlive your usefulness, you'll be happy. You'll leave a few people here and there through the years a little more enlightened than when you met them. You'll feel that you've made a contribution. That's all you'll get out of it.
That's not enough.
I find it singularly curious that if a doctor tells us that peanut shells are good for us, we eat them. If a chemist maintains that one gasoline is better than another, we use it. We are guided by experts on everything from soap chips to foreign policy, and yet on the most important thing of all, how to live, we pay no attention. Ever since man began to think, great minds have been telling us that the pleasure in living is in helping, that happiness comes from a simple, useful, constructive life. But yet we call this kind of advice infantile, impractical, and hopelessly idealistic.
Oh, Taylor.
Don't you see, Jason?
Carson just came in. As soon as you're finished, he wants to see you.
I'll be right there. I'm finished. Goodbye, Professor.
Goodbye, Jason. And then I remembered your mentioning the University of Chicago. So I suggested it to Jason. He thought it was a wonderful idea. So we went over to the university.
You're not a very good liar yourself, Pop. Don't worry, Pop. It isn't as though I hadn't expected it. I wrote to my sister. I'm going to go stay with her for a while.
Oh, no, Peggy, you can't do that. This is your home now as well as mine. You must stay.
Sorry, Papa. Just too many memories around here. Gee, the way I feel, I get on your nerves something fierce. Nope. I better get quicker. I'll go batty. I practically all packed. Just have to go up and change. I thought I'd catch that 7 o'clock train.
Very well, there. If you think that's best.
Pop, don't you see that?
Come in. Come in. Jason, I'm so glad to see you.
How are you, sir? Professor Barnes told me the dean said I might take some makeup exams.
Of course, of course. You came back with Henry?
No, he doesn't know I'm here. Neither does Peggy.
Oh.
I'd rather he didn't, sir. I don't know whether I can pass the exams. Well, if I do, I'd like to tell her myself. And if I don't, I'd rather not raise her hopes too much.
You're right, you're right. I hope you pass the examinations. All the time you were gone, we had no viola player. We need a viola player. Come along with me. I'll call the other professors, and you will arrange for all the examinations. You are looking very well, Jason. Oh, forgive me for speaking and distracting you. Now you will have to figure that last part all over again. Right? Right. You receive 82%. I have it all figured.
Now, let me see. I think that gives you 79. But you better check it. I may be wrong.
I never was very good at adding.
I'll take your word for it, Professor.
Good, good. Now the chemistry examination.
That's the one that really worries me.